You're listening to the audio portion of Workshop Wednesdays. Workshop Wednesdays is a free live discussion about topics affecting accountants, bookkeepers, and business owners. You can join the ABO group in Facebook to participate live Wednesdays at 10 a.m. Pacific Time. Just search for ABBO in Facebook. This podcast is brought to you by Schoolofbookkeeping.com, where you will learn, grow, and build a thriving bookkeeping practice. We have hundreds of lessons with almost every aspect of the industry. Start your free month today at Schoolofbookkeeping.com. Well, welcome to another Workshop Wednesday, casual conversations for serious workflows, brought to you by Schoolofbookkeeping.com, keeping you learning QuickBooks your way. Hi, Rachel. Welcome back. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Very, very good. Thanks. Always good to see you.
I do. You're a little scrambled, though, not in your audio, but in your video.
Video. Okay. Well.
Yeah.
Well,
but
golly.
You're there. We can see the outline of you.
Uh-oh.
But like, for example, what's on your shirt is totally scrambled.
Okay. Oh, well.
But I know it says School of Bookkeeping.
Yeah. Well, good. Well, good. And unfortunately, for some reason, always with a live workshop, for some reason, Facebook disconnected itself. So if you were hoping to see us on Facebook, sorry, it didn't. It didn't sync out to that. But
we are lots and lots of disappointed people right now.
I know. It's terrible. All right. Well, today we're going to be talking about reports, and Rachel and I were chatting before this that really reports are so important. That's the whole reason that we're even here, right?
Yep. Every single thing that goes into QuickBooks is meant to spit out on a report.
Right. Because a business is not going to, this is like the whole reason that we're doing all of this stuff, tracking our sales, tracking our expenses, the money in, the money out, reconciling the bank accounts, all of that stuff. I mean, we're not doing it because we love it. We're doing it. Yeah, you and your PayPal appreciation is one thing.
I do love it though, Dan. I was talking about this yesterday with a couple of friends, fellow bookkeeper/accountants. We actually love it. I do. I really do love it. So there are people out there that do.
Well, that's the perfectionist in you. I think that's shining through. But from a business, from somebody who's in construction, that's probably the furthest thing from their mind is keeping track of all of this stuff, right?
You are right with that. Yeah, not fun for them.
But this is the rear view mirror when it comes to reports. When you're driving a car and you want to see where you've been, reports is all of that stuff, right? And some of the reports will be part of the windshield that will allow you to kind of see forward. But if you want to predict where you're going, you certainly need to look back at where you've been, right? So that's our question of the day. What is your go-to report in QuickBooks? So I'll ask you, Rachel, what is your favorite report? The one that you start with that, is either, how you introduce something to your clients or where you go first to dive in, right? So kind of like the appetizer report.
Yep. So for me, the most important report, well, in terms of importance for me, balance sheet and P&L are 50-50 in terms of importance. But where I spend most of my time is really in the P&L. And so my favorite report is a P&L by month. And I can tell basically everything I need to know about a business in terms of their current operation in the P&L. Now, if I want to look at, a lot of historical stuff that's rolled up to now, of course, I'm going to look at the balance sheet. But if I want to look in terms of like, what's gross revenue right now? And anything really from that point. I can just look at the P&L. If I want to look at it, if I want to do a super quick, what's their gross margin percentage? Like just like that, meaning, how much are they actually making for every dollar that they're earning? How much of that is profit? I can look at the P&L. I can find out really anything I want to know just from a P&L.
Yeah, because one of the nice parts about QuickBooks is that most reports, especially those with numbers on them, allow you to drill in, right? So if you want to
Yeah.
understand where that number came from, you can click on the number and it will go into the detail report that makes that up. Um,
Yeah,
so
and that's actually what I meant to say. So thank you for saying that. That is the reason that I prefer that report is rather than going and look at look in vendors and looking here, looking that. I usually want to see where did it fall in the P&L first. Then I can click in and see some further detail.
right. So over the past, I don't know, year, 18 months, QuickBooks has been on this journey to enhance their report module, and they've been calling it the modern reports. And then there's classic, right, which is what was before. Where do you fall on this classic versus modern uh,
Well,
debate,
I
maybe?
prefer the classic. I do. I prefer the classic, but I know that I'm going to be forced out of it at a certain point. Um, and I've been using the modern. Now it defaults to the modern, and I've been using it. It's
Right.
fine. It just now, if you want to find something, it's just a little bit different. But when you're ready to talk about the worst thing about the report, I'm ready because I'll tell
You're
you what my least favorite thing is
got it,
about
got
the
it.
P&L that I love so much. I'll tell you my least favorite thing.
So reports is really where accountants, bookkeepers, accounting professionals, and a business owner really should live. When it comes to how do we make decisions. The challenge, and one of the things that has been challenging over this transition from classic to modern reports, is the surprises that have occurred when you run a report, right? And in during this period of time where you could actually see the same report in both versions, you could potentially see two different numbers, right? So that that raises a
Yeah.
lot of things in question, right? If you cannot confirm that these numbers are what they should be, that that puts a lot of doubt into
Oh,
basically everything.
I haven't seen that. I this is the first I'm hearing of that example. I haven't done that, like run one and then the other. I haven't seen that, but that's not good.
Yeah, I mean, because if you're blindly believing, right, that these numbers are accurate, because they should be, um, and unbeknownst to you, maybe there's an underlying issue with the reporting module. Um, you could be, it's kind of like when your speedometer doesn't work on your car, right? And little do you know, you're driving 88 miles an hour, and the police officer following you will certainly tell you how fast you are actually going. And
Yeah.
only my speedometer is broken will only go so far, right? If you don't
Yeah.
have a reliable measurement tool, to tell you how fast you are going, or whatever it is that you're hoping to get out of QuickBooks.
And I
Um,
certainly do not want to export expense lists and invoices into a separate thing so I can verify it. I'm not doing
yeah,
that. Like this report better be accurate.
yeah. Now, uh, to be fair, sometimes when you would switch between the two, maybe it would change the basis of the report, or it might change the
Yeah, sometimes that'll
range or something
happen.
like.
And yeah.
So
which
sometimes
drives
that
me
would be
crazy. But you
that
know what
would
I've seen
go ahead.
with the improvement of reporting is I've seen where like all the revenue is blank and the expenses are there, but like the revenue won't. It's like a glitch. So that's been happening as well. But that's still not
Mhm.
my least favorite thing.
It's still not your least favorite thing. Okay. So the good news is, and the whole purpose of why change reports and why now, right, is that QuickBooks is allowing more data, right? And there's no purge option when it comes to archive your data. This will just continue. Your list will grow. Your The amount of transactions inside of QuickBooks will continue to grow, and when you run a report for all dates, right? Or a very common question when I was working at Intuit was, I'm printing out the general ledger for the year, and which I don't know why, I never quite understood why, but I understood what they were trying to do. And,
Mm-hmm.
the classic view of the general ledger, which is every transaction with its split, uh, covered, grouped or categorized by account. It in classic view, uh,
Yeah.
it would stop, right? It would stop at a certain point. It would just give you the at the bottom load more, and you would continue to load
Yeah.
more until it would say I'm out of memory, right? Like so large reports is part of the reason that this shift was necessary, right? And so
Okay.
all people need to be on this modern report in order to take advantage of some of the limitations that they were experiencing with large data reports, right? um,
Okay.
and again, because there is no, well, I'd like to cut off for the last, I would only like the detail from the last 2 years. You don't have that option in QuickBooks Online. It just continues to add to the transactions that are there. You would need some kind of utility that would mass delete, transactions. And then, if those are dealing that's a whole nother ball of wax, right? Like if you're changing the balance sheet, removing checks, now you're changing the running balance of your checking account. So
Yep.
there's other things to consider, other considerations there. But
Yep.
um, while QuickBooks has been on this journey of marching towards modern report, there has been some resistance to that for various reasons, and part of it is one, learning something new, right? Like every time, especially
Yeah.
since we've talked about, hey, this is your bread and butter is reports. If you're disturbing that, um, you as an accounting professional are going to need to refamiliarize yourself with something that you might have already
Yeah.
known, right?
Because it's really annoying when you're used to um, just something being where you're used to it being, and it's like, and then you're clicking around going, oh, where is this thing? It's just annoying,
Yeah, yeah, and
you
and
know.
that's especially if you're in front of your client and now you're fumbling, looking
Yeah,
for
I
the
mean
report.
that's the thing. It's very annoying, especially you're trying to at least appear as a subject matter expert, and then here I am saying, Intuit's always moving the stuff around, and it just sounds like I'm making an excuse.
Yeah.
It's really frustrating.
So, part of one of the gripes about the modern report is that all of the customization features were kind of hunt and peck, right? Like you didn't have some of the more common ones like the date and the basis, um, right on the report itself. So let me share my
Yeah,
screen here. Actually, before we dive in, oh, there we go. Before we dive in, I wanted to show on our conversion landing page, which has the differences between QuickBooks Online and QuickBooks Desktop. There is a tab down here that talks about uh, QBO reports by version, right? So you can click on this
Oh,
tab, and it will show um, based on by category, the report name, and what flavor of QuickBooks Online has it, right? Yes or no, right? So you can just kind of scroll through and see those reports and see what if it's even in the version that you're looking for. So it's one of those things that if you're coming from QuickBooks Online or desktop into QuickBooks Online, you want to make sure that those reports are available in the version that you're using, right?
mm-hmm.
So that's one thing. Oops. And then there's another one here, which is really good, which is the QBO versus desktop reports, right? So uh, does that report actually exist in QuickBooks Online versus desktop? And then you can kind of use those two tabs in conjunction with each other to make sure that the version that you're getting of QuickBooks Online supports the report. Right now,
Yep.
doesn't necessarily mean that it's apples and apples when we're talking about the report experience that you have in QuickBooks Online, but it is at least good to know that the core function of that report is available in the version that you're going to. Now, because this is, I wouldn't say relatively new because 18 months is quite a long time, but since this is something that they have a lot of resources around, there is a feedback channel that is specific for accountants for this report, and it's called Canny. And I'll put the link in the comments because it's kind of cool because it allows you as an accounting professional to upvote specific issues, right? So if you see something that somebody else has already um, notated, you can put your voice behind it as well, rather than having two separate voices saying the same thing. And Intuit has program managers and product developers actually respond to that feedback, right? So
Wow.
that's one.
I know I can't get those people to respond to me.
Right. Well, and the challenge is like, QuickBooks and Intuit has always wanted to learn about feedback. But the normal channel of the gear and give feedback, or if you're on a specific screen and give feedback, that's all individual, right? Like if you put in the
Yeah.
same feedback that I do, that's now two data points that someone or something, if it's an AI data analytics thing, trying to combine those into a scope, right? Of how many people are
Yeah.
actually providing feedback about this. But if you go into Canny, which there's three areas of Canny. Now let me find it before I
What is it called? What are you saying?
Canny. Where I
Can
got a
he?
yeah, Canni Canny, Canny.
Oh, can he?
Yeah.
Okay.
Um, it's a feedback channel that Intuit's created. I'll have to find it and put it in the comments after, because it's of
I
course not
usually always
this.
tell people that Intuit, go ahead and reach out to them, but if you really want help, get it through the School of Bookkeeping.
Let me see if it's not, okay. Yeah, I got to find the exact link for it. I should have been prepared, but I'll follow up on that. Okay, so in reports in general, right? Your favorite report was the profit and loss by month, right? So this is the first thing that we
um,
want to talk about.
yeah, I'm just going to put myself on mute for 1 second.
Okay,
Keep going.
all right. So the first big change in the feedback channel, right, is this stuff here at the top was not available on modern reports. So the ability to change the dates, put in your custom dates, change your basis of the report, and show columns was kind of hidden in the customize. option over on the right side. So it's still there in the right side if you want to, but these are part of the classic reports that QuickBooks had readily available at the top of the screen, which now it makes it available for you to make those changes without diving into the customization screen here. So that's one thing. Let's see here. So there's also persisted customization. So filters like um, date ranges, display settings, all of your customizations will now stay intact if you drill into transactions and return back. So you don't have to
Oh, wait a minute,
reapply.
because normally it doesn't do that.
What's that?
Normally it'll revert back to what it was,
Right.
and it's super annoying. So you're saying it'll save it?
Yes, it's supposed to
Oh,
save persistent customizations. Now, I know you're a big fan of Right Tool, which
yeah.
typically when you drill in on a report, um, goes into another tab, right? So
Hmm.
you don't necessarily have those problems with
Yeah.
that. Um, but if you
But
go
sometimes when
into
I'm on my laptop, it won't open up another tab even in Right Tool. So it'll goof it up that way.
yeah, so that was part of the challenge. Like if you were looking at a report and then went into an invoice from that report, which now takes the entire screen, and then you do something in the report and then it close, save it, uh, it would go back to the report, but then kind of refresh it without keeping those date ranges and filters that you had already said. So
Yeah,
now
and it's very annoying.
and now it's supposed to do that. It's it's
Okay.
supposed to maintain the filters, date ranges, and display settings of the customization. Auto
Okay.
refresh is a new thing. So when you update a transaction and return to the report, it should refresh it automatically, so you can see the latest data. Which which is
Wow.
it's a that's a what took you so long. Like, thanks a lot.
I
That
don't. Oh, wait a second. I feel like I just saw that yesterday because I was like, wait a second. That updated.
right.
Wow, interesting. You know what? Also, I wonder is, and sorry because this is not a report thing, but will it just? But it's about auto refresh. If I'm reconciling, and then let's say I have to add an invoice or a sales receipt because I'm missing something.
hmm
If I go back to the reconciliation, will it auto refresh too? So it'll be there.
I don't think that's a report, so I don't know if that is part
It's
of
not.
this thing. So yeah, normally what I do is refresh the page.
Yeah,
When
I do too, but
when
I'm
I'm on the
wondering if
reconciliation.
the auto refresh expands to other things is what
Hmm.
I was curious
Yeah,
about, but I don't know.
knowing what I know about how siloed things are in the development space, my guess is no.
Probably not.
But I'd be surprised and happily surprised if it actually did get that way. Um,
Yeah.
okay, so we got the next thing is the simplified report customization. So they remove the save report prompt when you're making changes. So you can simply view or analyze the data without interruptions, right? Like every time that you change something in the customizations in the past, what would happen is it would come up and say, "Hey, you want to save this report? How about
Right.
now?" um,
Yep.
so you if you browse away from the report, it will still remind you, to do that. But because you do need to save the report in order to maintain any changes that might be, especially if it's a customized or a custom report, right? No
Yeah.
need to take all of those things. Now, I have noticed that when you have a large report, um, in the past, what was happening is it would just come up blank, right? Which is kind of dumb, right? Like this. So let me go into this particular
What do you mean by it would
example.
come up blank? Like when it would print, or just when you were trying to view it?
When you're just trying to view it, right? So um, if you were trying to view a report, and it basically was timing out and showing you nothing. Um, now and the challenge is it has to look at all those transactions and display them on the screen. It would just get to a certain point and show up blank when you know that there was data there, right? And
Yeah.
it's just because you were using um, you had too much information on the screen. So now what is happening is when you do have a larger report, right? So this was the estimates versus actual by project report, or the estimates and progress invoicing summary by project report for all dates. In this particular company was uh, it was coming up blank, right? So we had saved it to, include, a couple years worth of data, but in reality, you want to make sure you have all of your data. So all dates was actually preferred. Um, so what happens when you are running a large report? So let me go into projects, and we'll run into a project reports, and we'll run estimates by actuals by project, right? Now, by default, this is looking at last month, right? So if I want to choose all dates, this is going to take some time. And now what will actually happen is it will continue to process the report even in the background, but you have to wait for this screen. And I'm stalling for time here because it's going to get to a point and it's going to say, hey, there we go. Running this
Yeah.
report is taking longer than usual. This report contains a lot of data, so running it will take longer than usual. Continue working in QuickBooks, or and we'll let you know when the report is ready. It also shows on your list of large reports under custom reports. So you can either continue to stay here and let it continue to run, or you can continue working going somewhere else, right? So now this
Or
report
you can just
is
export it into a different reporting app. Just kidding.
you could, but you got to show it first. So this
Hmm.
estimates by actuals report, you can see, is now on. This is in your uh, custom reports tab of the reports module, and it's showing that it's in progress, right? Um, and then
Hmm.
if after it's done, you can come back to custom reports and just run the report again, and this actually
Cool.
shows this time. So this is all dates, uh, estimates versus actual by project, right? So very long, large, large report that continues to scroll for days. Right now, I also noticed this the other day. Let's see here. Under your three dots in the upper right, looks like all reports can do have this option to switch back to classic report,
Oh.
right? So all reports are defaulting to the modern view. But if you go into anything, and we've got our three dots, it's here at the header, right? Once it shows up, come on now.
I'm looking right now. I don't have three dots. Oh, wait. Yeah, I do.
You don't have three dots. Okay, so now this balance sheet is taking longer. So now we got to wait for the balance sheet to show up. But typically, any report once you're in there, you can switch to classic view from those three dots. So let's go actually into
You know what's really funny is I'm actually in a client's right now, and there's stuck on classic view. It won't let me go to modern view.
which report are you working with?
Just, you know,
Oh, this is VNO. That's odd that it's there. Now,
I know, isn't that
how long?
weird? It's stuck. It's like it flashes and then I think it's my browser. It's
There you go.
flashing and then it goes back to the classic.
Right. Got it. Yeah. So yeah,
Weird.
you click on that three dots at the header of the report, and then you've got um, the option. And of course, it's going to warn you like, hey, do you really want to switch to classic? Because one of the things that you won't get is all of the cool new AI functions, right? So these
Right.
five insights that might be on this report that you want to see, or asking a question about the profit and loss. Those are also things that you need, that were necessary in order to um, to incorporate those features and functions inside of QuickBooks. All right,
You know
so
what? It looks like that this modern view also, it looked, because I can tell what's going on with mine. I just switched companies and now I'm back in my accountant suite. It's not working on
mhm.
mine either. I think you have to, if you're using Google Chrome, you have to use the most recent version of Chrome, because I think my Chrome is out of date.
Oh yeah.
It won't show modern view.
Hmm, that's interesting.
Yeah, because I'm trying to do it on mine even, and I'm seeing it flash, but then it just reverts back.
Yeah. And in the past, I had noticed a marked performance improvement on reports being run, um, assuming they weren't large, right? But
Mhm.
if you were running or drilling in, the modern seemed to run faster than the classic view reports, and that's one of the things that they've been wanting to work on. So faster access to the
That's good.
reports, those are good.
I will.
Uh,
Can I tell you my least favorite thing now, and then maybe we can
yes,
will it into the universe.
right, okay.
Okay, so this is one thing that I really wish that they would fix is when I export to Excel, which I do
Hmm.
frequently. Um, at the bottom, it's got the merged cell nonsense that I have to
Oh,
constantly go in and get rid
right.
of.
Hmm.
Why? Why do they do that?
It's just the footer, right? And that I'm
I know,
wondering
but
if
can we just like write something that says when you export it, take the footer out?
no, but you can remove the footer in the in
Oh,
the
and
uh,
then what? And then,
in the
but
custom.
I think when you still export and you say to remove that footer, I think it's still there when you export.
Let's just
Unless
see
it's
that.
not, I really want to take out the header and the footer because I build a lot of pivot tables. And so
Hmm.
that drives me kooky to no end.
And this is something that I just noticed was this calculated fields, where you can
Hmm.
add, remove, edit custom calculated fields on this report. So let's just see what that.
Oh, okay.
So we've
I like
got
that.
name. So you can do it by column, and you can choose. Yeah, you can do the by column or row, and then you can have percentage, number, or currency listed there
Oh,
in your
wow.
calculated field.
Okay.
Um, and then, of course, if you're using advanced, you're going to have a little bit more customization options on all of your reports, including pivot pivot tables. But it depends on what report you're starting with first. You can't create a pivot table for the profit and loss, but there are things here. So let me go back to what we were trying to do here. So let me send to, I'll just send it to Excel. Is let's look at it. I had removed the footer. Yes, I did. Okay. Where'd it go? There it is. Move it over here. Oops, I gotta go into the Sequoia. Yep. So here's the exported report. I scroll down to the bottom. I don't have a merged cell.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, I guess that's the key to do it.
I mean, it's something that you're going to experience a couple times until you get used to it.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's go into the next thing. So faster access to the report. Let me go back here. QuickBooks, streamlining schedules and shared custom group schedules. Woo, that was a mouthful. Instead of scheduling individual reports at one time, you can now schedule and share entire groups of custom reports. And then you have the flexibility of exporting them as PDFs, Excel, or CSVs. Right. So when you're creating, let's see, I'm trying to think of the best way to do that. That's under custom, I believe. Custom reports. So we can create a schedule. And then what do you want to do with that report? You want to schedule and send. And this is the report. You can then choose your frequency of when that's going to be. It's almost like a recurring transaction, but just for reports. And then what do you
Yeah.
want to do with that, right? You can send a company email, send it to whom, and then choosing how you want that report to show up, whether it's a CSV or a PDF or just an Excel attachment. So it makes it real easy to to choose those and schedule those reports automatically, and it can be dynamic. So it can just be, hey, this is the profit and loss for last month, always sent on the 10th of the month, and it shows up. Right?
That's pretty cool.
All right. This next thing is smarter navigation and drill downs on the AP and AR aging summary report. So we've always been able to drill down into the totals, but now you can also drill into the aging buckets, giving you the deeper visibility into the overdue items. So when you're drilling in on, um, the what's current or what is overdue, 31 to 60, the resulting report will actually be just filtered for that bucket. And it also hides, let's see here, accounts with transactions. So sometimes important insights hide behind accounts with zero balances. um, so now you can drill into these accounts better to understand those finances. There's improved scrolling, so you can scroll anywhere on the report page, not just within the table. That was a nuisance thing. I don't know if you had noticed that, but when you're scrolling, it wouldn't scroll unless you were actually on the table of the report itself. But
Oh
now
yeah.
when you're on the page, it will scroll. And then they made some gap GAAP aligned account ordering. So that was a miss or a fail, I think. Like the general ledger report um, would show up in alphabetical order. So so the accounts were grouped by the way they alphabetically. So then you
I
had,
know that
so
drives me
you
insane. I hate that.
now it's displayed in proper order: assets, liabilities, equity, rather than alphabetically. So that was a fine, thanks type of thing. And then we talked about the report queue. So any thoughts of what you've seen here, Rachel? Did you have any other problems or comments of
No,
that you want to chat
no,
about?
I mean, I think it's when I'm on a different version of Chrome that I seem to not have the problem with the modern reports. And when I'm in Safari, I think that's fine too. I think that my Chrome right now, like I'm having some issues with it, which is why it's not pulling it up. But I've definitely been in it and I've worked in the modern reports and I like it. I mean, at first it was just like, wait, where do I find blah, blah, blah? But once you're used to it, it's fine. I don't have a problem with it.
Yeah, it's definitely something that You don't want to hold on to Classic View because it is something that is necessary in order to, take full advantage of the ongoing um, features and functionality of where QuickBooks is going. Right, you need those large reports to be able to be showing all on the screen, or you need you don't want to send them all to Excel, maybe because there might be a feature or function in the report that you're not done with before you send it to Excel. Right.
Right.
So next time on the QB, where are we? What are we talking about? Next time we're going to be talking about. I don't have the right thing up on my screen. We're going to be talking about something on, on the next workshop
Oh,
Wednesday.
inventory
Oh
enhancements.
yeah, the changes to inventory enhancements. We'll be talking about some item receipts, sales orders, the inventory add-on, all that. We'll be chatting about that next time on the workshop Wednesday. So looking forward to seeing you then. I hope you have a great week, and we'll see you next time on the workshop Wednesday. And that wraps up another insightful episode of Workshop Wednesday, brought to you by Schoolofbookkeeping.com. We hope you enjoyed today's discussion and took away some valuable tips and strategies to enhance your bookkeeping practice. Remember, if you want to stay ahead in the world of bookkeeping and accounting, be sure to visit Schoolofbookkeeping.com. With a wide range of courses, resources, and expert guidance, you'll find everything you need to sharpen your skills and boost your career. Don't forget to subscribe to our podcast on your favorite platform so you never miss an episode. And if you enjoyed today's show, please take a moment to leave us a review on your podcast platform of choice. Your reviews help us reach more listeners and continue to bring you the best content every week. If you have questions or topics you'd like us to cover, reach out to us on social media or send us an email at support@schoolofbookkeeping.com. We love hearing from our listeners and are always looking for new ideas to explore. Thanks for tuning in to Workshop Wednesday. Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and keep excelling in your bookkeeping journey. I am Dan DeLong, and we'll see you next time.